You owe. You owe them. And if you don't pay them, they don't let you go. Because you got to give them something. In a way, you have to take them with you. In a way, we can say you have to take them with you. Although they will not necessarily come, but that's by you taking everything they've done, all their successes and failures, and integrating it and becoming a new man, you're taking them with them. That means if you go to the other world, they get reward. They have no reason to want to hold you back. However, you're not allowed to go to the other side. You're not allowed to change unless there's a payment that's done. And now we're not talking about a payment. You don't have capital to pay. We're not talking about finance or energetic capital. A payment of recognition, a payment of respect, a payment of appreciation, a payment of understanding. And that process is a deeper spiritual kind of payment before we speak about shifting, literally living circumstances. You have to pay them. How many people actually care about this? Everybody's selfish, man. You're on your own. And when you look at generally the past, if you look at your father, your grandfather, a couple of generations back, if you know of it, generally either you'll be overexcited about it, but most of the time you're critical. My father's a this or that. My mother's a this or that, right? And then there's, of course, a version that is just like hyper-romanticized, exaggerated, that has nothing to do with reality, right? So you don't have an actual sense of these people, who they were, what they gave you, what they had to go through. And you are the outcome of this. So they live inside of you, that's literal. So if you block all of that off, you don't have access to them, that you don't have access to the strength that they have. And the strength that they have may not be what you wished you had. Huh? It's what it is. You don't have access to the strength that they have, so they will not give you their strength, in other words. And you are plagued by their so-called weaknesses. They're affecting you anyways. All of that because there's a closure to the reality, a closure to biological reality, a closure that your life is not really your own. It seems like it, but not really. I owe my life to the one that came before me, and that person owes their life to the one that came before them. That's the truth. And it creates an unbroken line, which is what a lineage has always been about. And lineages are always there, except that the common man is a moron, is an imbecile. There's no sense of it. Or they worship ancestors in their fantasies, which has got nothing to do. No, an ancestor is biological. It's in your body. It's body meaning AKA the mind also. It's one and the same. This is real. You can make it into like, what's the movie with the Black Panther, and you go into the realm of the ancestors. And yeah, but this is like a mental realm. Fine, but that mental possibility has its physiological expression. It's real. Now, how do I access this? First of all, it's your birthright. So it's not like you need, it's special. There's nothing special about it. But it's locked. It's closed. Certain powers are closed. In order to access them, you need to pay something. You say pay respect. That's why we say pay respect to the ancestors. And that respect has to grow. Right? If you owe a lot of respect, so that means you have to pay a lot of respect. But if you don't have a lot of respect, how the hell are you going to pay the respect? Let's say you need to pay, let's say to have access to that power. Let's say you owe 10 million respect. Right? But you have like barely 5. How are you going to afford that? You can't afford this. You can't pay respect. That means you don't have access to it. So once upon a time, this still exists somehow. You go see some kind of shaman, and the shaman could give you rituals or some kind of mantras or tricks to heighten the payment process. So I'm going to give you this. If you repeat that mantra X number of times, you're going to go from, you have five payments of respect now, we can grow it to 10,000. And if you do this specific ritual, or if you do this specific form of penance, we'll go from 10,000 to 100,000. That'll pay respect. There's other ways much simpler to do that, but that requires depth, right? You got to pay respect to have access to this. But who pays respect nowadays, right? Nobody pays respect. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about powers. Yeah, but those powers are yours, and if you don't have access to them, you're going to remain this insignificant individual. But here's the catch. If you have access to that power, you're responsible. And nobody wants to be responsible. We've covered this multiple times on this channel. No person, man or woman, wants to be responsible nowadays. You want to be on an island on your own, and you want to have no responsibility, no connection. You want to be, quote unquote, free, which you're not, and you're going to be plugged into a machine like a bitch that you fucking are. So to have access to that power means you pay respect. To have access to that power means you have a duty. You're duty bound. You have your duty towards your ancestors, your forefathers, which means there's a game being played. You're not free to do whatever the hell you want or whatever you want to be. That's nonsense. This is more lies and more lies and more lies so that you buy shit that keeps you exactly where you are, useless and dumb.